All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Connor on Chain. So we got a ton of shit that is happening in the market. Excuse my language. We got Bitcoin hitting a new high. We got ETH running. We got Pump Fund dropping a token. We have also at the same time Pump Fund losing half its market share in 3 to 5 days to Bonk Fund. If you've been paying attention to the trenches lately, lots of other stuff too. We'll cover a bunch of alts. Things are starting to move. So why don't we dive in? So first things first is we got Bitcoin, ETH. We'll cover a few majors, and then I want to get into Pump Fund a little bit. Just my thoughts on all of that, and then back to a couple coins. So I mean, Bitcoin itself, like I said, it literally hit an all-time high, just wicked to it and just instantly down, which was it a new high? I mean, this is on one exchange, but yeah, we got to zoom so far. Yeah, it was by what, 20 to 50 bucks. I could be wrong. This is on one single exchange. I'm not even sure. This is on Bitstamp. Um, but maybe on other exchanges, there's could have been different wicks or something. But for that, we did hit a new all-time high today. That was crazy. But yeah, like I said, we dumped right after, and it's been holding. I think this chart, though, it has been looking very, very good lately. I mean, it's obviously been going up for a while. It came up, chopped again, and it's been holding. But at this point, I've just been more and more bullish as time has gone on. I've stopped worrying about like over here, like, we're just going to nuke to zero or anything like that. Because it's just the demand for Bitcoin right now is through the roof for institutions. Even still at these prices, even though I don't think that's going to be the case for much longer, especially because we got people, institutions buying up ETH. We got a couple of treasury companies now. I think there was one that actually sold their Bitcoin and threw it all into ETH, basically. I don't know how much longer the Bitcoin hype is going to last until things actually rotate into alts and majors. I mean, we can see ETH right now is having a great day, up 6%, up $160 today. So that's actually a very good day for ETH right now. Usually it is not up like that. As you guys know, the last few months it has been down only since December of last year. Most of this year, since May, it was down only. June sat sideways. Looks like July wants to attempt to run back to local highs from the cycle. If we can get to previous all-time high, which I should probably have a range up here too. If we go back to the all-time high, which is around 48, that would be huge. ETH would start running like crazy. I think once but I mean that's why I'm in the market. I really think it will. But I still gotta say it's crypto. No one knows what's gonna happen. If ETH does break, have a major run and it breaks, through its previous all-time high, I think it's definitely gonna keep going higher. Maybe, I think a lot of people are projecting, like fucking 8, 10, 20K ETH. I don't think that's gonna happen. It could. I would love to see it. Please prove me wrong, market gods. But, I think for me, especially in a market that has been this risky or just risk off, I think, things are kind of aligning over the next few months. I feel like to push stuff a lot further up. But I mean, I think to see a 7 to 8K ETH, if we ever did see it, guys, is probably a great area to be watching for. But who knows? I think that's definitely going to be a great area. It could, like I said, push a lot higher than that, especially if demand just skyrockets even further. But, bottom line, ETH's first spot it's got to come back up to is down here around 4K. 4K to 4,400. I mean, even shorter term, the next actual goal that it's got to pass is this level, which is like 28, in between like what, where this wick is to the candle is 28 to 2880. So if we can get above 2,900, probably going to start looking a lot better going further, I would think. But also, you guys got to keep in mind that too, the same thesis is still going to play out on something like Mogcoin, on SPX, on ETH based meme coins. What kind of coins end up bouncing the hardest every single time the market starts moving? It is usually meme coins, whether you guys hate it or not. It's like meme coins are undeniable, guys. And especially if you are holding Ethereum or if you are within the Ethereum eco, bullish on Ethereum, or watching this market and saying, oh, altcoin season is not going to happen unless ETH goes up. If ETH is starting to move, what is a leveraged ETH bet? Not an actual leveraged trade, but what is going to be a massive multiplier play that you can bet on with Ethereum? It's going to be ETH based meme coins. This is why I'm still very bullish on MOG, because we did see, obviously, when MOG hit its all-time high back in November last year, December. Yeah, this was what, December 8th, 2024. No, that's the wrong coin. You can see ETH was at 4,000, but if Ethereum can go all the way back and even break into new highs, what do you think is going to happen for ETH meme coins? Not just MOG. I just bring up MOG because if you guys have seen my channel, you know this is like the one coin I've been bullish on since 2023. But what is going to happen to this coin? It's likely going to push, huge leg. Maybe it just goes straight through the previous all-time high. If we see ETH at 5, 6, 7, 8,000, or for example, if it literally doubles what ETH was at here when MOG hit that, there's no reason why MOG can't do the same thing. If not, do plenty of X's more. So I think it's very important. You guys should be allocated to both, at least a couple meme coins on Ethereum and or Solana. I'd recommend at least a portion of your portfolio, even if it's a tiny percent, because that can easily push into 5%, 10%, 20% of your portfolio from a single meme coin. It's actually why, the coin Mask on Solana, this is one I've been bullish on now for a while. I'm going to pull up a new DEX screener because I got random ass coins up on my computer. But that is why Mask on Sol has been one of my favorites outside of this yellow. But I think Mask is very bullish. It's one of the most insane communities lately that I've seen for meme coins. This is like a whole tangent though. I want people to win in this market, and easily being in meme coins even a little bit is huge. It is absolutely key. But bottom line, let's keep moving on because I want to cover Pump Fund, one other thing, and then we'll get back into some altcoins. So if we go, we got some Dune information here. But let's see, right here. So they're dropping a token. Pump Fund is launching. I'm aware probably most of the market knows that by now. But yeah, blah, blah, blah. They're basically max extracting again. But the thing is here, so this is the distribution. Where did it go? 33% is sold in the ICO, 24% reserved for community and ecosystem, 20% to the team, 2.4% of the eco, blah, blah, blah. 3% for live streamers. So if you're a live streamer, you're going to get a nice bag. 2.6% for liquidity plus exchanges. And I mean live streaming, though, on Pump Fund's platform. But it's going to be launched through an ICO within all of these exchanges. So it's actually kind of interesting that they're doing that, and they're just not trying to just give a simple airdrop. Gonna complete KYC. And apparently US users, classic, and I think UK are disqualified from this. You can probably still get around it, but what's interesting that I found is we gotta cover this. So this is something, guys, where when you see this in tokenomics, something I will always, I would always, in most cases, completely avoid. I wouldn't even look further than this. So they got 1/3 of their token supply. And keep in mind that when this token launches, it's not going to launch at a $5 million market cap. this will be a hefty ass launch, like massive coin. And they got a third of the supply is being sold in an ICO. But the thing with that is their ICO, like I said 5 times already, it is a third of the supply, but they are all fully. What is wrong with my clicking today? They are fully unlocked on day one. And so outside of the public sale, which is 15%, we got 18% in a private sale of institutional purchasers who are already locked into this. Bottom line, whenever this launches, every single person that invested in this day one can sell. If the token pumps 5x, even a 2x, it's going to be huge. 2x, 5x, 10x in hours, in 2 or 3 days. Every person that has ever bought this from these sales, guys, can just dump all of their supply. This is when you see charts that launch, and this is what the charts look like. Day one, half the time they are just straight up red candles. Or it's like, yeah, maybe the first hour, if you zoomed in, if this is like a 4 hour, half the time this is what they look like, day one. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not saying it's legitimately just going to nuke to zero, but this happens a lot. And when you have unlocks day one like that, from people that are aiming to dump on your head, you cannot expect anything better than that. The only thing, and the reason why I said it before, is in most cases I would be thrown off by this instantly, is because it is Pump Fun. It is the Pump Fun token. There's literally no other project remotely doing anything like Pump is done, especially like revenue wise. Whether you guys hate it or love it, I'm not even that bullish on Pump itself, just extracting stupid money from Sol the last year or so, but it is Pump Fun. It is the number one used platform in crypto, basically. So knowing that, there could be a ton of money that flows right into it at launch. A lot of people thinking that it's going to pull what Trump did on, the first week. But the thing with Trump is I don't think they had unlocks like that at launch. And I could be wrong. I do not remember the Trump tokenomics at all. But, day one, just bottom line, I think a lot of, especially private sale investors, likely if they see a huge pump within the first day, they're probably going to start clipping out. Anyone that is at a big gain will be clipping out. So if you are not allocating, or you're waiting for launch to then just full pour it in at the bottom, you're probably going to get dumped on. So bottom line, I would be very, very risky here. People may have different thesis, different thoughts on this launch. I don't know. I think it's, maybe it could be something, because again, the thing is here, I don't know exactly what this means as far as 0.004. Like, I don't know what the market cap is going to be when price is this small, at least, because if market cap is sitting at $4 billion when the price of the token is 0.004, yeah, it's probably not going to go much higher. But I mean, if this is like a fraction of that at 0.004, meaning from launch it could still do a few X's and it would be, maybe turn into what, a couple cents versus a 4/10 of a penny. You know what I mean? So I don't know the exact market cap of what this is going to launch at, but if it's very, very high, I'd be very questionable just about jumping in. So that's it. That's all I wanted to bring up with Pump Fun. I'd be very cautious allocating. And also at the same time, expect a lot of coins in the market the day of, or even just over the next week alone, to be having dips. Don't expect things to just pump like crazy. They probably will. But I think if there are dips because of Pump Fun and its launch, or just people selling their other meme coins to then allocate into this, I would have a little bit of capital ready if you want on the side, just to be able to buy any dips that happen, probably when this launches, So I don't know exactly what will happen, but what's interesting though is we saw a lot of Bonk Fun coins ripping Bonk Fun has been a lot healthier for Solana's ecosystem with, capital actually going back into the eco, which is very good to see. Even though it's still, they're still glorifying the trenches, right? I want to show you guys a stat at the end that is incredibly like bearish to me, but I'll show you. In comparison, I think this is like still a fairly new launch pad. Just over the last few days, it got a lot more traction. But they got launch tokens around 20,000, 15 to 20K just in the last few days. I don't know how long that'll last. But then if we go to Pump Fund, we'll pull that up in a second too. But how many tokens did they have? So that's total graduated. What was it like per day? Yeah, so if you look at Pump Funds, it was on average, it was about the same thing. Pump Fund on average was launching around 15, 20, maybe 25,000 tokens a day. This was all of June at least. And it seems like Bonk now is taking kind of the place there because you can see now this is all the way down at like 3,000. Look at that decline in a week. That is gross. And what is this? So these are graduated tokens. Graduate, I mean, obviously, when the amount of tokens you deploy, nukes 80%, same exact thing with graduated tokens. But yeah, it's bottom line, Pump Fund stats in the last week alone have really taken a hit. And obviously, Bonk Fund, what is it called? Let's Bonk? I don't even know. But yeah, this whole thing has just been flying. So total market cap of the entire eco is around 500, almost, let's say 600 million. For Pump Fund, the total market cap is around 5 billion. I mean, I think from just the last week alone, it's already at a tenth basically. Yeah, tenth, right? Or no, maybe something right around there. 8 to 12% of the size of Pump Fund now. But I mean, it got that traction that quick. Like that is nuts to me. The thing I wanted to show you guys is look at this count. Like everyone glorifies the trenches. It's like even myself in many ways. Not necessarily Pump Fund and to be diving in headfirst on Pump Fund. I just like looking for a lot of coins on ETH, on Sol, on Base that are very undervalued, low in market cap. I don't fully just trench it out on Pump Fund every day. Like I don't do that too often. But I mean, look at these numbers though. This is on Pump Fund, all-time Pump Fund market cap. Obviously, at different times, this was different. But as of right now, out of the how many tokens were launched total? Does it say that? I mean, I don't even know if I want to know that. Literally millions of tokens launched. Yeah, I don't even think it has that number. It has total market cap of graduated, but so outside of that, it's probably what? Well, like I said, it's multi millions. But bottom line, 147,000 tokens that have graduated over probably the last year. Look at the coins that have actually held up and are holding up at actual market caps. Let's say over a million. 218 plus 42 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3 plus 1. Legitimately, like, under 300 tokens. Yeah, that's 500K to 1 million. Under 300 tokens total are sitting at actual market caps right now. Like, that is so insane. And again, I don't know if this. I would just consider out of every Pump Fund coin that launched, like, even though again the market nuked and a lot of coins continue to, move up and down in market caps, right? But it is just wild to see the actual numbers behind that is ridiculous. So that's what I wanted to cover with Pump Fund. I'd be very cautious to launch, and that's mainly it. This was the other thing, very, very interesting, is Phantom announces Phantom Perps. So you basically can now go long or short with up to 40x leverage in your Sol wallet. That is ridiculous, guys. Absolutely nuts. Like, that is game changing for Phantom as well. Like, that is just huge. But yeah, this is like their, excuse me. Yeah, that's crazy. But bottom line, that was what I wanted to cover with this video. Yeah, I think it's gonna be very risky with this pump launch. Because like I said, if there was no unlocks or anything for, even like a couple months for a little while, and if I knew the pump token was not gonna launch at a ridiculous valuation, even like low couple hundred million would be okay. But if it's gonna launch at billions upon billions of dollars in market cap, I really question the kind of upside that it can have, especially now with a third of the supply easily can just be unlocked by anyone day one. So be very cautious of that. But bottom line, guys, look for good coins, communities. Like I said, I focus on some couple really good utility plays like AI. Have at least a little bit of exposure to meme coins because I think if things are going to start accelerating, AI and meme coins are still the top narrative going forward. So that's it. And obviously, like, something I've been bullish on too for a while is base. Base chain is going to be very bullish too. Still just Sol, base, and mainnet ETH, I think, going forward are going to be the top coins and chains to focus on, at least for liquidity. For when, if and when normies come, we get this crazy alt season, right? Those are going to be the chains you have to pay attention to. So keep that stuff in mind. Outside of that, I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.